Hi Chica Grill fans, welcome to another Chica Grill video and happy 4th of July. Guess what's on the menu at the Amador household? Ooh, beef brisket. Look at this beautiful cut of meat. What we have here is about 16 pounds of brisket. And what we've done already, just so you know, is we have marinated it and injected it overnight. This has been marinating. Ideally with this particular marinade, which I'll talk to you about in just a couple of seconds here, you want to marinate for at least 6 hours, preferably overnight, because all of those flavors in that rich marinade are really going to lend a beautiful, wonderful, meaty flavor to this brisket. And what this marinade is, it's a beef broth base with beef bouillon and sherry. Very simple ingredients. And we injected it every inch all around this beautiful cut of meat. Left it in the refrigerator overnight, took it out of the refrigerator this morning, and have discarded most of that marinade. The very next step is to do your dry rub for this beautiful brisket. So we have 4 teaspoons of kosher salt. We have about 8 tablespoons of coarsely ground pepper in here, 4 teaspoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of Chipotle chile, 2 teaspoons of New Mexico red chile, 4 teaspoons of garlic powder, and 4 of onion powder, 4 teaspoons of cumin, and 4 teaspoons of that smoked Spanish paprika that I so love. And what we're going to do is just cover this up. I'm taking off my rings. My favorite part here, I'm going to get nice and dirty. Hands are washed, okay? And again, I've said this before, if you don't care for touching raw meat, wear some gloves, okay? It's really that simple. So I am going to gently, lovingly rub this beautiful brisket here, okay? We want to get the sides. We want to flip it over. Oh my gosh, this is a heavy piece of meat. No joke. We're going to eat really well here tonight. Use all of that beautiful dry rub, covering it fully. Now, we are going to put this in indirect heat. So I do have my smoker going, and you can see I have my smoke, my fire, and just using lump charcoal, hard wood, on the right hand side. This is going to impart an indirect smoking method. That's exactly what we're doing today. I am going to flip this over because I do want to cook this brisket fat side up. So definitely make sure. Once we have that rub all over this brisket, we're just going to put it into our grill. Now keep in mind, I have my grill at 350 degrees temperature. One fun thing that I love to do with this indirect cooking method is wood chips. And here I have pecan wood chips. All I do is wrap them up in aluminum foil, and I'm going to throw them right into that smoker side. Okay, we'll close that up. And now we're going to add this brisket, pan and all, to our grill. That's it, guys. We're going to let this go for about 2.5 hours. See you in a bit. All right, guys, so 2.5 hours have passed on this brisket in the smoker here. All we've done, just to recap so far, is we've trimmed that hard fat off the top part of the brisket. Make sure you leave that fat on the bottom part of the brisket intact. That's what we're looking for. That's what's going to add those extra flavors on that brisket. Then what we did was we created a marinade that's just a beef broth base. We added some sherry, we added some beef bouillon, and we coated, completely marinated that brisket in it, and we also injected it, remember, every inch or so all around that meat. Then what we did was we got our hands dirty, right? And we rubbed that rub onto that brisket. We have put it in the grill directly in the pan. 2.5 hours have passed. Now we're going to take that off, and we're going to just wrap it in aluminum foil and throw it back in the grill. Wow, look at this beautiful piece of meat here. Look at that. Tell me that is not beautiful. That is looking so tasty right now. And all we're gonna do here now is just wrap the pan in foil. Wrap it tightly. And we're gonna stick this right back into our grill. Okay, we're still going to maintain that internal temperature of 350 degrees for the next hour and a half. So you want to make sure that you're constantly tending to your fire, making sure that your 350 degrees is maintained. We're going to leave that right there, and we're going to come back in an hour and a half. Okay, so we have had our brisket in the grill for about an hour and a half. Really what we're looking for is an internal cooking temperature on that brisket of at least 200 to 205 degrees. Once we've reached that internal cooking temperature, what we're going to do is pull that brisket off of the grill. Look at all that smoke in there still. Carefully bring it over, just like that. And guess what? We're going to cover this with a blanket for 2 to 3 hours. And we're gonna leave it at room temperature, covered nice and tight here with this blanket, just like that. The longer you can keep it covered like this at room temperature, closer to that 3-hour mark, the better. What we're looking here is for the juices to be reabsorbed by that brisket. That's really what's gonna render that delicious, delicious texture and flavor. Once this brisket rests for the 2 to 3 hour mark, what we're going to do is remove the brisket from the pan, take all of those delicious juices that are going to be left at the bottom of the pan, and we're going to put them in a saucepan, bring that to boil. In the meantime, we'll cut the brisket, always cut against the grain for a more tender cut of meat. And then we're going to pour those juices over that brisket. Deliciousness will ensue. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that no matter how you're smoking, if you're using an electric smoker, if you're using a box smoker, if you're using a charcoal smoker, the way that we did today with that indirect heat, as long as you can maintain proper temperature throughout that cooking process, and as long as you deliver quality smoke and let your brisket rest for at least 2 to 3 hours, you're going to have an amazing product. Let me know if you try this recipe in the comments.